Hello, namaste, and welcome to your morning yoga flow. My name is Maria, and I will be guiding you today through a 15-minute full body yoga flow. We aren't going to need any props today, and this yoga flow is for all levels. We are going to start at the top of our mat, standing in mountain pose. Bring your feet hip width apart or feet touching. Bring your palms to face towards the front, or option to rotate them towards either side of the room to open up through the shoulders and the chest a little bit more. Inhale, roll your shoulders up towards your ears, and then exhale to roll them back, around, and down. Option to close your eyes here as we start. Rotate your inner thighs towards one another to find a little bit of energy in your center line. Relax your belly, lift your chest, reach the crown of the head up towards the sky. Inhale to lift the arms up above overhead. Arms are by your ears, either holding a big beach ball or option to bring your palms to touch. Exhale to sink your hips back as if you're sitting into an imaginary chair, keeping your knees stacked on top of your heels, on top of your ankles. This can be a high chair for now. No need to sink your hips deeply today, where you can come into a high chair pose. Inhale and exhale to fold over your legs, bending at your hips. Bend the knees as much as you need to here to protect the low back. Bring your hands to your shins or wherever you can reach, maybe bringing your fingertips onto the ground eventually. Option to grab opposite elbows here and rag doll, so moving from side to side, maybe just a little bit, keeping that movement small. Let the head hang loose, let the head hang down with gravity. Shake your head yes and shake your head no. Inhale to plant the hands and step both feet back, coming into a plank pose. Exhale, option to come down onto your knees as you lower down all the way onto your belly. Bringing your forehead, your chest, your hips, your belly, your thighs, and the tops of your feet to press into the mat. Press your hips into the mat and press your thighs into the mat as well, so much so that your knees maybe lift a little bit. Press into the tops of your feet. Bring your hands back by your low ribs. Little to no weight in your hands, and inhale to lift the chest, keeping the chin tucked just a little bit. Exhale to lower the forehead back down to the ground. This time, bring the arms, bring the fingertips to either side of the mat, bringing them wide. Send the elbows straight up towards the sky to find this rotation through the shoulders. And then inhale, tucking the chin, but lifting up through the chest, and maybe lifting the chin just a little bit this time. Exhale, lower back down. Couple more times, yogi's choice. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale to lower back down. And inhale once more, little to no weight in the hands. Press into the hips as you lift the chest. And exhale to release everything back down to the ground. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders and push yourself up onto your knees. And coming into a tabletop position, bring your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. We're going to drop the belly and send the chest forward. Rotate your inner elbows to face towards the front and lift the chest, lift the chin. Inhale, this is your cow pose. Exhale to send your tailbone down towards that area between your knees. Tuck the chin, rounding through the upper neck. Cat pose. Inhale to drop the belly and send the chest through the arms, send the heart space through the arms. And exhale to tuck the chin into the chest, round through the upper back. Couple more times with your own breath, inhaling to open up through the chest, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. And exhale to round through the upper back, tuck the chin into the chest. So a couple more times with your own breath. And then come into a neutral tabletop position. Walk your hands up just a little bit. Spread your fingers wide. And rotate your inner elbows once again to rotate towards the front of the room. Once you're here, make sure to ground down through that pointer finger, knuckle, and thumb at the same time to find that opposition in your arms. Tuck the toes under, and then lift the hips towards the sky, lift the tailbone towards the sky, coming into downward facing dog, making sure to bend at the hips and not the waist here. Bring your arms in line with your ears. Push away from the mat. Maybe your shoulders come close to your ears. Pedal out the feet here, bending one knee and then the other. And then returning to a down dog, bending your knees as much as you need to here. Ground down through all 10 knuckles once more. Inhale to look up slightly, and exhale to walk your feet up to meet the back of your hands at the front of the mat. From here, bend into your knees deeply, and then slowly start to roll up, leaving the chin tucked to come up last. Inhale, lift your arms up above overhead, and exhale to stay here. Take your right hand and grab onto your left wrist. Take your left fingertips and reach them over to your right side, finding a deep stretch through the left side of your torso, opening up through the left side ribs. Inhale. Exhale, pull the left shoulder back a little bit to be in line with your right shoulder. Untuck the chin. Inhale, come back up to center. Switch your grip, left hand grabs onto right wrist, and then send your right fingertips over to the left side of the room, opening up through that right side, that right torso, the right side ribs. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale to plug that right shoulder back in line with your left shoulder. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, switch your grip once more, coming over to the right side again, stretching through that left side. Inhale, back up to center, and exhale, switch your grip once again, and lean into that left side, opening up through the right side of the body. Inhale, back up to center, and then exhale to fold over your legs, let it all go, release your arms towards the earth, letting everything hang loose. Bend your knees as much as you need to here. Plant the hands and then step your left foot back to the back of the mat. Drop that left knee to the ground, or option to keep it lifted for high lunge. But coming into a low lunge here, keep your right knee stacked on top of that right ankle, so heel toe your foot around to find your footing. Inhale, lift the chest and lift the crown of the head up towards the sky. Exhale to sink your hips in a little bit lower towards the ground. From here, plant your left hand next to your right foot, and then gentle twist open to your right side as you lift your right arm up to the sky. Exhale to release it back down onto the ground. Walk your hands back as you straighten out through that right leg, sending those right toes up towards the sky and then back towards your face. Your hips are stacked on top of your left knee now, coming into half splits on the right side. Inhale to come out of it a little bit, and exhale maybe to bend in. Bend your knee as much as you need to here. Inhale to lift up, exhale to sink in a little bit more. Inhale to come out of it a little bit, and then roll forward, roll through, bending back into that right knee, returning to low lunge. Plant the hands and step that right knee back to meet your left knee, and then bring your left foot in between your hands and heel toe that foot up until you find a stretch through your hips, stacking your left knee on top of your left ankle. Your back knee is on the ground, or option to lift that back knee coming into a runner's lunge here. Inhale to reach the crown of the head up towards the sky and reach the heart up towards the sky. Exhale to sink in a little bit more. Plant the right hand on the ground next to the left foot, and then open up to the left side as you find a gentle twist, sending the left fingertips up towards the sky. Inhale, and exhale to bring that left hand back onto the ground, releasing from that twist. Walk your hands back towards your hips as you start to straighten out through that left leg, sending the left toes up towards the sky. Inhale to get tall, maybe come out of this a little bit. And exhale to sink into your half splits, keeping that left leg bent as much as you need to. Inhale once more, and exhale to roll through, bending through that left knee again, returning to a low lunge. Plant that left hand and step that left knee back, coming into a tabletop position again. From here, you can take the knees together and bring the toes to touch, or bring the knees wide as the mat, and bring the big toes to touch back behind you. Coming into our final pose for the day, child's pose. Feel free to take an additional vinyasa here before coming into this child's pose. Otherwise, you can meet me here. Send your arms straight out towards the front of the room and let your forehead rest on the ground. Sinking your hips towards your heels, letting your heart melt and relax towards the earth. Start to come back to your breath, to your natural breathing. And notice where your breath is going. Notice the sensations in your body. And if you're practicing this in the morning, maybe take a little bit of time right now to set your intentions for the day. Or maybe take this time to say your affirmations or your mantra. Option to take the elbows wide here, finding a little bit more space and giving your shoulders a little bit more space. But this is where I will leave you, yogis. So feel free to stay here as long as you'd like. But thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this yoga flow served you for what you needed. I hope to see you next time. Sending love and light from my heart to yours.